So, Alan Armstrong, Spaceman Marketing. Let's get all set up.
My name's Alan, for those who don't know me. As you can see, I've been in hospitality a long time. I left school when I was 16. Well, left school when I was 18. But from 16, I got a gas collector job. Fell into hospitality and then never looked back since. Absolutely loved it. Fell in love with the buzz it creates, the emotional impact you have on customers' lives, people getting married, engaged, falling out, divorced, everything that happens. That was just the staff. That was even including the customers. So as you can see there, I spent a long time there just working for different brands, getting pushed further south from my native northeast until I reside in Derby, where I live now. And then almost at that point, I just felt I was just ready for a change, and I was getting really frustrated with the marketing teams I was working for, which was looking at us at the time. They'd send me POS on a Friday and expect me to run an event on a Sunday. It was just an absolute joke. So I used to constantly feed back to the marketing manager and just slag what was happening from Central. And then she said, come and work for us. You see what it's like. You come and work for us. So I fell into marketing as a little marketing exec back in 2011. But when I did that, I made sure at the time that I knew my stuff. I knew the words that everyone talks about in marketing. So I went to do night school and got this little CIM. And then, as probably anyone who in the room who wants to get to marketing director, when you want to get there, you think it's great. When you get there, you realize it's really shit. As in, you realize you're surrounded by boardroom politics and people who procrastinate over decisions and people who take 6 months to sign off board papers and want to sign off every piece of artwork you and your team do. And then you soon fall out of love with it. And that's always where I got to. And I decided to go on my own journey, and last July went freelance completely by mistake, if I'm honest with you. I've managed to collect a little portfolio of clients, and I like to think my sweet spot is clients who have no more than 20 sites. I probably learned from the Stonegate days of having 4,500 sites that it's not very good in person, but that 4,500 sites in your portfolio, that I now only work with people who probably have a maximum of 20, just because again you find that you either find a small or non-existent marketing team that you can support with some ideas. They've got very little tech stacks. You can really help implement what they're using from a CRM and digital perspective. But then as well, they've got great ideas, and they almost give you the time and the motivation and the bandwidth to make them all come to life. And from there, so like I said, I focus on the smaller ones. And this was completely by mistake, if I'm honest with you. When I left Nightcap, my plan was to take 6 weeks off to spend more time with my kids and my family, and for my well-being and all that type of thing. And then within days, though, people were ringing me saying, come work with me 1 day a week, come work with me 1 day a week. And now, as I stand here today, I'm constantly got 5 days of clients and 5 days of work going on, which is great. I love it. So when Dan asked me to talk about activations today, I thought, activation is great. And if anyone's read some of the content I've put on LinkedIn around my 636 philosophy to creating the perfect marketing campaign and stuff like that, I thought, yes, I could talk about that. But then I thought, one thing that probably brings us all together in this room that everyone's going through, and everyone seems to be doing at the minute for some reason, I don't know why everyone's trying to get them in before Christmas, is launching a new venue. Either it's a bar, a restaurant, a coffee shop, everyone's launching new venues at the minute, and they're all trying to get it in just before Christmas as well, which is just chaotic right now. And when I looked back over my career, when I was doing that time plan earlier, I realized that I've opened a lot of venues in my time, loads of them. If anyone's ever been to Rosie's on Birmingham Broad Street, I came up with that name and all the concepts behind it. If anyone's ever been to the Silk Mill in Sunny Nuneaton, I came up with the name for that pub after researching its history, where it came from and all that sort of stuff. Let's be honest, launches, we're going to see a lot of smiles in the room now, so I'm talking about launches is the fun part of our job, isn't it? It's the best part. When your boss turns out and says, you know what, we've bought a new venue, we're launching a new venue, we've bought a new pub. When you get into the mix of launching a new venue, you're walking on the launch party night, and it's packed full of people that you've put in there. Let's be honest, it's the best feeling in the marketing world. It really is. And so I thought today I'll just share my learnings of the most recent opening I've been part of as a freelancer. And as you can see, I've done hundreds, absolutely hundreds of them. Tonight, Josephine's, Blame Gloria's. I'm currently working on a new steak restaurant for Birmingham, which is going to open again 1 month before Christmas. And he wants Christmas bookings and everything in there and all that. Nightmare. And I've been part of loads of them. So imagine me when I get this phone call. There was a boss I used to work for at Nightcap, one of the exited founders. He rang me up and said, Alan, I've got a new venue. I've got this amazing new venue called Bar Elba. Anyone heard of it? Yeah, Bar Elba, Waterloo Station. And I remember it from my days when I used to work at Nightcap adventure bars back in the time. It does 100 grand a week. It has space to do things like ice rinks on the roof and cinemas. It had an Airship database, I think, of 35,000 at the time. It had 31,000 followers on Instagram. I thought, this is an absolute dream. All I've got to do is reskin everything that we get, and I can just polish it up and send it out the other end. Then you get told that it's a sort of a little bit of a hostile takeover, as in a landlord's taking the site back off Nightcap because it's the end of its lease, giving it to somebody else who used to work at Nightcap, and now because of that, we're not getting any Airship database coming across. We're not getting any CRM. We're not getting any Instagram profiles. We're not getting any Google. We're getting nothing at all because they're not giving anything back to us at all. I remember even ringing Lucy and said, Lucy, I need some legal advice. Please, can you help me about, do you know about GDPR law and who owns the data? Is it the venue or the operator? Because we're buying the venue. In the end, we decided to close the venue, start from scratch, do a £500,000 refurb of the venue, and just go from there, really. So we started from absolute nothing, from me thinking this is a really good job to this is a really tough job to do. So when Dan rang me and asked me to talk about activations, I went, Dan, I've got a great case study about launching a new venue. I'm going to talk about Circe's. And you went, Circe's? But they're not an Airship customer. And I went, yes, they are. And he went, no, they're not. It says Circe's on Airship customer. He said, the champagne bar. I went, no, not the champagne bar. I meant Circe's Rooftop. And this is the initial one of the problems we had when we went to launch this venue was the brand agency came up with the name, and I said, but people will pronounce it in the wrong way. People say Circe, people say Kirks, people say Circe's, people say all these different ways of spelling it. It's completely down to customer perception, how you read them words. I'll probably educate you straight away that's called Circe's, not called a completely different name. So we came up with a concept called Circe's, and I'm just going to show you a video now about how it looks, and I'll tell you a story about how we got there. I'm hoping that sound will come through. If not, just sing amongst yourselves. And we have no sound. Oh, yeah. So, with Circe's, it's a rooftop bar, as you can see. It's in Waterloo Station, right opposite the entrance to Waterloo Station. It's on top of the ugliest office block you'll ever see in your life. It's 76 steps exactly from Waterloo up to the top, and that's a long 76 steps. You can feel the lactic acid building up in your thighs as you're walking up every turn thinking, oh, we're there yet? The good thing is we reward you with cocktails at the top and a really good time and really good Mediterranean food and things like that. So I'm very passionate about brand story when it comes to a background of when you create brands. Like I said earlier, I worked for Tonight Josephine, which I think had the best backstory ever if anyone's ever looked into it. So this one we created was about Circe, the Greek goddess, that was a daughter of the sun god Helios, hence why she built her palace on top of a rooftop, because she wanted to be nearer to the sun. Renowned for a vast knowledge of potions and herbs, which we built into the cocktail storyline. And then through the use of her magic wand, she could transform her enemies or anything offender into animals, which we just thought was great, that she had this little cheeky, sassy side to her as well that we could really play on in the comms and the tone of voice and things like that. So we created a whole backstory about who Circe was. All the cocktails are named after Greek Olympians and all that thing to keep the story alive. We worked with an agency called Kiss, if anyone's worked with them before. Very expensive. I think it's probably cost me £5 just to put their logo on the screen today. But we briefed them on the project and told them what we wanted to come up with. And to be honest, they did a really good job. They could give me, or anyone in the room as a brand person, to get something, a big document with a brand spark, which tells you your mission is to create a legendary rooftop space. Your values is to make myths made modern. Your reasons to believe is to have that prime location, the spectacular hosting. We had all of this to really start to bring our tone of voice and our brand alive, which really helped us from the start and was definitely well worth it. And then when I was creating the launch plan for this, like I said earlier, we had zero data. We completely started in April this year with absolutely nothing to our name. So when we built the launch plan, we knew that every touch point had to drive data. Everything had to link back to the CRM, whether it was the organic social, the website, the PR we used, the activations we did on the street, the lead generation campaigns we did, the paid media that we did on Instagram and Facebook. It all led back to one point, which was get us as much data as we can, as fast as we possibly can, because we started with absolutely nothing. And with London, as you probably know, in Waterloo Station, it's such a transient area. We get a lot of people passing through. We just knew straight away we had to capture everyone who came to the venue or knew about the venue or wanted to look up the venue, so then we could communicate with it further when we did stuff. And then to do this, this is my 6-phase plan that I use when I do all my launches. Okay, you've probably all got your own technique to this. Don't worry for all the marketeers having anxiety in the room. There is a massive Gantt chart that powers this, okay? Feel sure that I have a massive Gantt chart that covers every line down and all the weeks across. This is just how I bucket all my phases of the campaign to increase the hype as you go through it. And I would say an optimal campaign should start around 8 weeks out from the launch. Let's be honest, if you add any more to the front of that, you're probably going to hit your peak too soon, and then everyone's going to be bored of your stuff straight away. So I always build my campaigns where it goes 6 weeks down to launch date, and then 6 weeks out on the other end. So it's a 12-week block that we always do for all our launches. So 6 weeks down would start with the drive awareness, then you go into provoking interest, and then, actually don't worry, I'm going to cover all these phases as we go through the deck and talk you down perfectly down to go live and all the different tactics you can use along the way. Do you want me to keep going? Yeah, cool. So driving awareness ways. So the first thing we ever did for this was we set up our landing page on the website. Now I always say that's the first thing you should ever do. If your boss rings you and says, we've got a new site, set up your landing page on your website. It was just a single page with a sign-up form on it. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. Just make sure it's the first thing, because as soon as you start to talk about your content, whether it's on Instagram or press releases or whatever, everyone's going to head back to one place. And you've got to make sure that you're capturing that web traffic, you're capturing that data straight away. So the first thing we did was that. Then we went live on Instagram. And like I said, we started from scratch. We started with absolute zero, and we thought, who's going to be interested with us? I mean, to be honest, we had no content. We had no venue that was getting built by the builders. We hadn't had a photo shoot yet because the drink menu hadn't been signed off. So all we had was stock imagery, teaser stuff about some of the slogans and things we'd done, some of the AI and artist impression stuff of what the venue was going to look like. So we just had to keep teasing people as we went through it. So we did this on our organic, but then we had a paid campaign to drive people back into it all the way through. We then did a lot of influencer work. And I would say one of the best tools you can use through a launch is do goodie boxes. Is find your 50 best influencers in that area or in that city that you're opening your venue. Do your brand in a box. So we did edible clouds, we did cocktail kits, we did loads of little giveaways, sunglasses, sun fans, and we sent it out to 50 people. And guess what? We got 36 bits of UGC back. We got 36 bits of content. We got 36 people resharing and doing opening the box video campaigns and really get into it. And then this just really helped us getting out to a wider audience. So then people led back to the organic social to follow the page I showed you earlier. And then they went to the sign up link to sign up to find out about more information. So it all fed back into the CRM all the way through. We then go into phase 2, which was provoking the interest of the user. And this is where we started turning on PR activations. So we had several activations that we did around London to really start to people to see us and hear about us. The first one was the stunt we called Circe is Coming, where we went to Graffiti Tunnel by Waterloo, where you went location led, and we just went guerrilla and just sprayed a mural all over the wall about Circe, and she was coming, and put her eyes stencil everywhere. So we did that. Then number 2 was through the team marketing chat. I found an amazing AI guy called Haldoon who created us a lovely video of a giant Circe model walking through the streets of Waterloo, which really got us some really big impact. I think got 10,000 views, that one. So we green screened a model, got her walking through the ugly office that we had in Waterloo at the time with the green screen. She was just walking through the middle, and then he superimposed her into the camera footage to make it look like it was this goddess smashing her way through London at the time. And then number 3, we brought it to life a bit more, where we got loads of models dressed up as Circe walking through the streets of the South Bank on London Eye, the Tube, everything, and just caught that natural reaction of people seeing it. So impact on the day is probably minimal because everyone's looking at going, what the fuck's this? And all this stuff's happening on the street. You've got cameramen filming empty streets because you don't see the feet walking down at the time. But when we did Stunt 3, we made sure they were walking around big QR codes saying free cocktail here, and everyone was scanning that to get the free cocktails and get all of that. So 3 really impactful stunts. It probably only cost me probably between 1,200 and 1,500 quid each, if I'm honest with you, just to really leverage and build the comms and build the story up as we went through it. Another way of really good at provoking interest, and this is probably a disclaimer where I didn't do this for Circe's. It is my little secret hobby and side hustle that I like to do for other clients. But gamification, if you guys have ever tried it before, of driving leads into your business, it's just such an impactful, quick tool. Now, I only started doing these with a friend of mine because I could see the access groups and other people doing it. They were charging people like 10, 15 grand to build wheels, and they weren't even very good. And I just looked at them and went, it's such a simple tool that gets really good engagements, that gets your brand out there, that gets you some good data into your system. And you see there, I've built some for Queens in Bayswater. I've just built one for Ninja Warrior to launch their new one in Teesside. And some of the data you get from gamification, if everyone's ever looked at before, is we did it for London Cocktail Club, who at the time were an Airship customer, and we increased their data just in 1 month alone for Christmas bookings over 72%. The amount of data collected to a QR code on the tables that you see now, where people scan to win free cocktails for January. For Queens alone, these guys were on a CRM system called Seahoo, if anyone's used that before. So we moved them over to Airship, and we had to because their click-through rate on Seahoo was 0.5%. First campaign we did with Airship was to spin the wheels for people to win free bowling and free ice skating, and they got 4.4% in one campaign. So that massive jump in engagement levels just through doing a game and talking to people a different way. And the final one for Ninja Warrior, which we've literally just done the wrap-up on, is these guys got 5,500 spins in 3 months just through doing a wheel where people could bring phone fingers and all that type of stuff, headbands. 2,000 opens, 1,100 click-throughs, and 150 people redeeming their vouchers in the venue. So it really drove people in. And it's not cheap to out. I took my kids there on Saturday. It was 100 quid for 4 of us doing Ninja Warrior. It's not cheap. But yeah, gamification is a great way, if you want to provoke interest during your launch, of at least look at this just to drive some data. And you can do this in different ways. You can have it built into your website, you can have it built into your email campaigns, or you can simply just walk the streets with a tablet, getting people to spin a virtual wheel and then entering the details straight away. That's what Flight Club did when they used this for Glasgow and Edinburgh. Next phase 3, which is about 4 weeks from launch now. This is what's called inciting desire. So this is when you start to have really good content that you put on your socials, where you've done a photo shoot, you know what your food and drink looks like, you've started doing your stylized shots, which I'll be honest, because it was only me and another freelancer doing this project, a lot of this was just done on Canva and stuff like that. We didn't really have big budgets to have proper designers and things. Then we started releasing details about the events. Obviously, at the time we launched it, Euros was on, so we had a big screen up there. We started to have a few preview parties where our events and our brunches were going to look like, so we started to leak a lot of that content out into people. Again, another really easy way when you do events is have a little preview party first with just some staff and stuff, and just use that as your content to then push out. Don't launch with your live event straight away. Have a preview first that links back. And then obviously we started to get some proper photography about what the venue was going to look like, and we could see what the rooftop looked like with the day beds and everything that we had up there. So we started to push this out a bit more to incite people's desire that they wanted to be at this venue when it opened. We then, like I said earlier, got the content from the launches, and when you start really examining these 3 bits of content, you realise that a lot of it's the same shot. It's just edited differently. And that was just a clever way we did it. Was we did a launch party positioned paid campaign along with some organic stuff around be at the launch party. This is what you could see. We then did similar around the bottomless brunch, which was a Oh My God's theme, with those different characters that came out and do different things when you're up there. And then because we didn't want to be deemed as a sun-drenched daytime cocktail bar, we started to really do some videography around night times and dark nights and what it looks like when you're up there at 8, 10 o'clock and there's a live band going on, there's cocktails flowing and all this type of stuff. And then the big moment happened. So we'd been almost like warming up the database. We've been warming them up. We've been warming up the socials. We'd seen everything gradually increasing. I think we got to about 3,000 Instagram followers at a time. We were making good progress. And then all of a sudden, Holly Ashworth, one of the freelance content creators I work with on this project, she went to the venue. She lives in Birmingham. She did 1 day a week down in London. She went down, did a shot of this brand new frozen cocktail machines that we'd import from America for Circe's, which is probably our USP. I think 40% of sales come through the frozen cocktails right now. They're unbelievable, better than the slush puppy ones, unreal machines. So she went down there, watched the guys do a trial of these machines we fitted in the pina colada. 17-second video, walking through the venue with her and a cocktail, posted it on the hottest day of the year with a soundtrack. I'll just show you what it's like.
And I don't feel guilty about it. I'm obsessed. And I don't feel.
It's not going to stop, is it? Did anyone see that when it went live back in the time? So you can see straight away, that's the impact it had on my website traffic, of how crazy it went, how we had steady days, steady build, and then 23rd of June, everything just went boom. The amount of interactions we were getting, the amount of clicks we were getting, it was just mental what it was doing straight away as soon as we launched this video. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Lad Bible then messaged us and said, "Oh, we've seen your video. Can we repost your video?" Which 20 marketers in the room, that was like your dream scenario, wasn't it? When Lad Bible sent you that message saying, "Are we okay? Use your content." Of course you are. Knock yourself out. Share it. And then you can see the impact then on our social followers. It just spiked overnight. Everything just went completely mental. We were just sat in a WhatsApp chat watching, saying, it's on 10,000 views, it's on 20,000 views, it's on 100,000 views. And now as we stand here now, it's on 2.4 million views for a really small bar. 700,000 on TikTok. We've not even pushed TikTok as an active channel because it's only me plus one doing this project, and we only do 1 day a week each for it. We haven't really got time to focus on that channel. We focus predominantly on Instagram. And then the impact again it had on, and 57,000 likes, nearly 1,000 comments of people tagging their friends in. It just went completely mental. And if anyone's ever been in the room when you've had a bit of your content or your venue go viral, it's quite a scary place to be. Everything just goes mad. As you said, your website's going mad, your Google's going mad, your Airship sign-ups just went through the roof. We had all these triggers and everything just kept just building and building. Where people were just signing up and just wanting to be part of it. Bookings went through the roof. The sales team couldn't keep up because people were ringing trying to book in. And then obviously there was no space because everyone wanted to book for the first weekend. And you'd think at that point that we could have easily just sat back. We could have easily just sat back in the sun and went, this is great. Let's ride on the back of this as much as we can. We've done our job. Kick our feet up. Have a frozen cocktail. We're going to be fine ourselves. But we didn't. Within, I think, several hours of going viral, we emailed our whole database a free frozen cocktail because we wanted to ride the back of it. We wanted people to come in and have the product in their hand. We didn't just want people to come and book. So we did this email and sent it out to our database at the time, which was only 3,500 then, because we've been building from zero, and just told them about it. Said, you've probably seen us on Instagram. You've seen the 1 million views we've got. Here's a free cocktail. Come this weekend. It wasn't actually a free one. It was a buy one, get one free. So we got the 12, 15 pound cost first to get them the free one. We can see the details we've got, which I think is good details. Dan might tell me if they're not. We've got 48% open rate, 7.5 click-through, and a 40% pop rate of people coming to the venue. Is that good, yeah?
Yeah, pop rate's great. Open rate's a little low.
Yeah, is that?
Low. For a new database, you'd probably be looking around 60% is a better rate there. But the click-through rate's great.
Probably a B, not an A start. Probably a B. It's great from Dan for that one. But like I said, we just love the fact that we pushed it out. So we even gift the video content and put it on a loop in the content, which we found GIFs get really better engagement on Airship than doing a still. So we always try and GIF as much as we can. You just need to lower that 10 megabyte limit. Yeah. It's so hard to get anything under 10 megabyte in there at all. Another way of really good motivating action. So again, we've got people engaged in the audience. We've gone viral. We now want to get people in the venue and people coming back and people booking months ahead. So I don't know if any of you guys do in the room, but lead gen competitions is always my go-to when the sales team comes to me and say, oh, bookings are looking a bit shit. So if anyone's ever done lead gen competitions, that spin the wheel game earlier was great, but set up a simple Airship form, embed it on a landing page, and just do a competition where you give away a £100 bar tab. But then the key bit is that everyone who enters gets either a phone call or an email off your sales team to offer them a second prize that's not displayed. So you'd almost say, right, we're going to give away, what was this one? 50 pairs of brunch tickets. So we'll pick 50 winners and give them 2 brunch tickets each. So that's 100 brunch tickets we've give away. But everyone who's entered, just say that's generated then another 300 people entering the competition who've not won. We will call or email all 300 of them and say to them, sorry, you didn't win the competition, but how about half price brunch tickets instead? And the conversion rate you get on that. And every time now, so I always get my sales teams I work with, my companies saying, work 6 weeks ahead in your calendar. Tell me 6 weeks ahead how your bookings, how your brunch tickets, how everything's selling, and tell me where the drop-off points are. And I say, oh, it's a bank holiday weekend coming up, or the weather's looking shit for that weekend. Obviously, Rooftop Bar were very irritated by the weather. And then I will do a lead gen competition to drive that weekend back up to the levels they want. So lead gen competitions, simple Airship form on a landing page, post it on your socials, really helps get engagement every time. And then probably the biggest motivated action I can give you in the room, if you just want to write something down, and it alludes to what James said as well previously, is the biggest thing we did for an uptick in CRM was embedding this bad boy on our website. A simple free cocktail button on the website, always on, sticky at the top, can't escape for it. The spike we had in people signing up as soon as we did that straight away, because we already had the traffic of people going to us and finding out about the brunches and the events and this viral frozen cocktail and all that. All we did was activate a simple free cocktail button. So reskin and sign up as free cocktail. So we've been really transparent about the value exchange. Just had a massive spike straight away. So I'd honestly say, if you look at your customer journey on the mobile and on desktop, and if you haven't got sign up or free whatever embedded somewhere really clear, make it the first thing you do when you get back to your office later on or tomorrow, please, because it's honestly that you'll see the benefit straight away. And then you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, these guys have obviously spammed their database and done loads of stuff to get there. We sent 11 emails from getting the database live to now. That's not too many, I don't think. I think one every 2 weeks we seem to send. And you can see from where we started down here with a database of 427 when we first started emailing to now, I think last week or yesterday we hit about 10,000. So we're now on 10,000 in our database, opted in. I've highlighted the ones in yellow, or gold as I want to make it, but the ones I always look at click-through, not open, if I'm honest with you. I always look at click-through rate. I always think it's more tangible. If they click through to a booking, they click through to the website, click through wherever. And these are the ones in yellow, the ones that are getting from us over 10%. So we've had some really good ones. And what we do as a team when we analyse how these all work is we start to pick trends about what our database really like. And so you can see that people love free shit. They love to feel rewarded. Because this is a London prime space rooftop bar, the owners, the managers do not want me to do happy hours. They do not want me to do discounts in the venue. If anyone comes in and gets a discount, it's only the database that gets it. You don't get that if you're walking off the street. So whenever I do VIP brunch tickets competition, whenever I do win brunch tickets, whenever I do get invites to the launch party, we get the click-through rates of 45%, 15%, 13%. Because that's what the audience is interested in, and that's what we learned from it. So whenever we do it now, rather than just doing a generic shitty email, which is just going to get no click-throughs and no one's interested, no one reads, we try to position it or highlight it or make the headline where it's all about, you have got to free this, you can win this, you can do this. So it just works every time for us that we do it. I think I said 11 emails over, what was it, a 3-month period. I don't think it's too spammy either to really upset us people. And then finally, then you go into execution phase. This is when you launch the venue. You've now done the whole countdown. You've teased them. You've incited them. You've got your bookings through the roof. It's now about the execution of launching that new venue and enjoying the thrill of opening the doors on the first night. And similar to what James was talking about with his loop, customer feedback has been crucial for us. I've always been passionate about customer feedback, and with these guys, with the operations team here, I just make sure that 100% respond to every single bit of feedback that comes in, because that naturally affects your SEO. And then I think just people always research you before they come to your venue. So we've got really good ratings on TripAdvisor and Google, and make sure we keep up that. We have 100% response. We're currently onboarding a customer experience system for them to manage it all in one place and take it to the next level to really build this a bit better. And then we have everything that James talked about earlier. We send out triggers after the visit for people to give us feedback. We have feedback cards that are given to the customer after. It all links together to make sure we have these happy customers after. From an Instagram perspective, we're nearly back up to Bar Elba standard. We're currently on 17,000 followers. So we're nearly back up to the 31,000 that we lost. It still exists. That's what pains me. You still search Bar Elba and it's sat there as a dormant account and they just wouldn't give it back to us. But looking back now, it was probably the best thing that could have happened. Starting with a zero base. At the time, it was like the worst thing ever. I've lost all these Instagram followers. I've lost all this database. What am I going to do? I'm on zero. I've got a £500,000 venue to launch. But it's probably the best thing that could have happened. Even from a content perspective, again, we've only made 116 posts in 4 or 5 months. So we've not been posting several times a day like some people will tell you to do. We simply just post content that's really relevant. We try and keep our grid the prettiest place in the world because it's a shop window. We don't. We try and just keep all the adverts and the stuff for real so it disappears. We just really focus on a lot of UGC, get a lot of influencers back involved in the brunches and inviting them back. And like I said at the start, when you do your 6-week countdown to launch, your 6 week after is make sure you do continuous events to keep people coming, keep you relevant. Because let's be honest, it's easy to fill a launch party with free drinks. Easy. Easiest thing in the world. Pat yourself in the back, walk away, boss is happy. Keeping our customers coming back for 3 months after is the hard bit. And that's where we've really focused on making sure we stay relevant. We've threw new events in. We did the Euros. We did loads of different things after. Launched all our Rhythm of the Week, as in our 7-day schedule, week by week. So we didn't launch it all in 1 week. So we launched the Monday 1 week, the Tuesday next week, which gave us 7 weeks of content alone of launching different launch parties for our content. And this was our Airship signups. And I just thought I'd just put some arrows on to show you the impact that everything had. You can see there the impact that the viral video had in end of June. Just elevating us back. We did some fun around the election where people could vote for their favourite frozen cocktail. We did a landing page with 4 different forums where people could visit and do stuff like that. We do a lot of competitions to chuck in. We've done the PR stunts, launch parties. You can see there a massive little ramp up there. As soon as you put that sign up free cocktail button in the header, it all adds together. And that was our key thing from the start, was to make sure it all added together, all the different channels talk to each other, and then it had an impact on us building a really good database from then onwards. And then what's next for us? We're currently working on a winter reskin. So because it's a nighttime, because it's a sunshine venue, we have to fill in the sides when it starts raining and stuff as you expect. Obviously for New Year's Eve, you get massive views of the fireworks and South Bank and all that type of thing. So we're putting some pods up there for winter. Just going through our reskin into all our winter theme and winter colours. We had a photo shoot 2 days ago in Shoreditch to do all our winter food and drink. And hoping to continue the massive success, the 100 grand weeks that we've been getting, all of that in the near future, really. That's it.
Thank you. That's brilliant. Can you hear me? Okay. Is that perfect? Thank you very much. I was scribbling down some questions.
Yeah.
But I will ask the room first if anyone's got any questions because they're probably better than mine. Anyone raise hands? Yes.
Hi. It's actually more about your personal learning development. Because I feel like from looking at your hospitality marketing journey, it mirrors mine quite a lot. So I started in bar back and now I'm marketing executive. So started again from bottom to board, bar back to board, and I noticed that you had CIM on there.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my journey is kind of at right now. So I've got my new manager Leslie, and she's as interested in my learning development and my actual practical skills as I am. I was just wondering if you found that beneficial to your career developing from that CIM point afterwards.
Yeah, it definitely did. Just because I learned the lingo.
Yeah.
There's probably, again, about 6 marketing models such as SOSTAC, SWOT, all them sort of things that get taught that have stuck in my head ever since doing my CIM. I mean, I didn't do my CIM as in a stop work, go back to school, come back to work when I was ready. I did it every Tuesday night for a year. I think it was 12 months, 4 modules in a year. And I was alongside people who marketed Thornton's chocolates, because obviously we did in Derby, so Thornton's chocolates based up there. People marketed concrete, loads of different things. I remember sitting there thinking, I feel so lucky that I'm marketing good times and experiences in pubs and bars, because I can't imagine how you market concrete and boilers to people. But it's really good because you learn all that different cross-learns about what people are facing in their sectors. It's really achievable, as in bite size. You can do it. You do it one little essay every 3 months, and you do it every night on a Tuesday. and then the homework is quite variable to keep on top of. So yes, I would definitely recommend it just for learning that base level marketing. Because you've got experience already, you'll be able to jump to level 3 straight away, I think.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. But yeah, definitely advise it just to get you started and just get you understand about this. So the lingo and the models, you'll be annoying Leslie for months after. She'll be bringing all these really great ideas and models and stuff like, oh, I think we should do this. I think we should try this approach when we do next audit and stuff. And it's just, yeah, definitely recommend it.
Can I ask one?
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Completely taken over. I did my marketing masters, so why did you do CIM over masters? What was the
Oh, masters. I didn't have a degree before that. I didn't do university. Yeah. So I only did it because, yeah, it was the only course I could have done at the time without any previous qualifications, really. I mean, I've gone back and done the MBA since with the Mark Ritson course. Yeah, I didn't find that as good as the CIM. The CIM's a lot more technical.
Yeah.
I found the mini MBA was a lot more top line overview sort of thing. And if I would struggle with that one if I hadn't done CIM first. No worries.
Any other questions? Oh, go
It seems like with that launch strategy, a lot of the trajectory was driven by a viral piece of content, which you can't control.
Which is luck, yeah.
Would you have changed anything in your strategy if that piece of content hadn't gone viral to continue driving it, or would you have stuck with this?
No, because we were still on a. I mean, we looked at the impact on the airships at the end. I mean, it wasn't actually a massive spike that it had.
Yeah.
No, I think the trajectory we were on all the way through was positive.
Yeah.
As in, we were naturally acquiring followers. We were naturally acquiring things. I mean, I'm very data-led marketeer anyway. So all I look at is numbers. So when I have my weekly catch-up with the team and the operations team, I was constantly just saying, oh, we won this many followers, we won this many sign-ups. So it's just, website traffic is performing like this. But we were on an already natural trajectory. The viral piece was almost just like the cherry on top. But I think that only happened because we'd done all the legwork before of really engaging and warming our database up in the right way. I think if that had happened and we weren't ready for it, not that it could have gone wrong, but it could have had adverse effects, I think. But it was because we'd warmed them up right, and I mean, that viral piece of content. I mean, I probably told a lie by positioning it in that order, because that viral piece of content happened probably 3 weeks after we opened the venue. I just slotted it in there as a good activation, but that impact that had almost just helped just drive us up to the next level from bookings and sales perspective, honestly. But yeah, you're right, complete luck. And if anyone else had the algorithm of going viral, we'd probably share it in this room straight away, but nobody has it. It just happens.
Any other questions? Okay, well, I've got. Oh, go on.
I know you're talking about launching like a new venue, but if say you're launching a new venue within a venue that already exists, would you still stick to the like 8 weeks lean time to start teasing it in, or would you maybe go for a bit of a smaller timeline?
I think 6 weeks is the optimal time for any launch, to be honest with you. Whether it comes to, if you're doing a Halloween campaign, Christmas is probably the only rule, because that's like March that starts. But apart from Christmas, I think everything should be 6 weeks out. Yeah. Just from the perfect comms to your team, the perfect comms to your customers. I mean, it's all that science about how many people have to say that message before saying then the actual motivated action. So I will say it's 6 weeks out for anything. You should start teasing people of new food vendor coming soon, might be that straight away, and then you just keep leaking information, what the name is, what the concept is, as you get closer and closer. Like I said, you go too soon and you put everything out there straight away, 6 weeks to go, new burger concept, called this, price and this. What are you going to talk about for the other 5 weeks? You've got nothing to talk about. So I was like, with this one, we talk about new venue comes to Waterloo, Circe's coming Waterloo, Circe's Waterloo, he has a picture of the cocktails. We started to really build it every week down to 6 weeks to just maximise the hype. So the hype curve was like that at the time we opened the doors. But yeah, I'd recommend 6 weeks for anything, to be honest with you. Read my blog on 636 on my website. It's the science behind every marketing campaign.
And
I
definitely
think.
sign up to the newsletter as well.
Yes, my newsletter, yeah.
Any other questions? I think we have. I just had one final one actually, because I know you talked a lot about the fact that you started from zero, and I remember having this conversation with you at the beginning. I was like, so zero, nothing?
Yeah.
And I speak to a lot of customers regularly that do have a very similar situation. Would you say that your approach and your strategy for how you did your 6 weeks prior and the build to launch would be the same either way? Or was it because it was zero database that you did it in that way?
I think it would have definitely been the same. The only probably stage I would have changed if I'd inherited that original Bar Elba database and got them 31,000 contacts. Not that I'm bitter at all, but if I got them 31 that still sit there now, unused. If I got them 31,000 bits, I probably would have had to do a big re-engagement campaign anyway, because that was like 5 years of old data, and we'd shifted the demographics a bit. We wanted a younger person, we wanted a bit more of a professional business person in, and that was 5 years of old data, which, I mean, I can't remember what even the engagement rates were, but I'm guessing I would probably have to spend a lot more time on gamification and things like that to re-engage and warm that database up before, or I'd never got them double-digit open rates or click-through rates. I'd never have got that because I would have to spend so much time trying to re-engage and warm them up and cutting people off and all that type of stuff before I would have been able to move on. I would be acquiring new people on the top as we are now, but it was that I'd have to probably shed the tail end before I could have done anything decent.
Yeah. Amazing. And I actually think the 40% pop rate is pretty bloody good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Great.
But yeah, round of applause. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Thank you.